Hello, friends. Welcome to today's show. I'm Dr. Helen, founder and CEO. That's Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Speaks, Dr. Helen and Associates. Yes, Dr. Helen and Associates. And your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. It's a great day to be alive, and your being here adds value to the day. Thank you. There are other places you could have chosen to show up, and we appreciate the time you've given to us. We really do. Your presence, contributions, and desires to take your leadership to the next level make a difference. Your sharing, suggestions, and support influence the programming we bring to you each week. What we want you to do is drop us a note. Continue to let us know how we're impacting you and what you're doing and bringing into the world. Drop us a note. You can reach us through our website at drhelenholton.com. On the contact page, send me an email at engage@drhelenholton.com. Connect with me on social media, on LinkedIn at Dr. Helen Holton, and on Instagram at Dr. Helen Speaks. We love hearing from you. I'm here to serve you. We discuss and explore ways for you to level up your leadership. Did you know the most effective leaders are lifelong learners? That's right. And right here, every week, we bring you opportunities for continual learning and growth. Why? Because we want you to become lifelong learners, to shore up your leadership, to stay on the cutting edge, and always having people just be wild and like, wow, look at what I'm learning. Look at how powerful my leader is. What we know is that when you learn new and different ways to leverage your strengths, now your strengths are the best of who you are. I'm going to break that down a little bit. There are things that we all have to do at some time or another, things that we enjoy doing, things that we're not so crazy about doing. Nonetheless, they sit on our plate and we've got to get them done. Strengths. So your strengths are those things that really come most natural to you. Yeah. Secondly, we want to help you navigate weaknesses. We all have them. We all have them. There's no getting around them. I love Gallup's definition of a weakness. Gallup says a weakness is anything that gets in the way of your success. Now that's power. And lastly, we want to help you build resilience. Resilience is a powerful practice that helps you persevere and push through life's pitfalls, challenges, detours, whatever is coming, that you want to move out of the way because you've got things to do. You've got a purpose and a passion that you're living out. And here's the truth. The more you give and pour into others, there's always going to be someone looking to tear you down, destroy what you're building and what you're doing. We're not standing for it. That's why we show up here to help you find those ways to eliminate anything that's getting in the way of your success. Think about it and drop in the chat if you'd like and let us know what's standing in your way. The struggle is real. And these three elements, strengths, resilience, and leadership, keep you moving forward. They equip you, they empower and elevate you on your journey towards more. More what? More success, less stress, and greater joy in life. What does success look like? How do you measure it? Here are 3 clear ways to measure your success. Number 1, an improvement in your performance. For you or you and your team, think about it. Who's the best judge of an improvement in your performance? It begins with you. You know when you're doing more, getting better results than what you were doing, because you've improved how you're bringing it forward. An increase, number two, an increase in your productivity. Productivity is a little different from performance because productivity is what is your product. Your product could be you make widgets. Your product could be you make calendars, ballpoint pens. Your product could be the service you bring to the marketplace. For example, I'm a coach. How do I look at an increase in productivity? By the growth in my coaching practice. And number three, growth in your prosperity potential. Oh, yes. Every time I say that, it just gets me excited because it's more than profits. It really is. It's a stronger bottom line. These three measures help you monitor and keep moving ahead toward progress. My mama taught me a long time ago that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. Always be focused on what's ahead of you. What can you do better? How can you be better with what you have? And that's where Dr. Helen Speaks comes in. We're a resource that adds value to help you optimize your leadership, your life, and your legacy. No one can do it better than you. We use our own holistic head, heart connected approach to coaching and training, focused on helping you to get unstuck or unstalled, so you can achieve more success, less stress, and greater joy in life. Our expertise is executive and leadership coaching, professional development training, and personal growth. We anchor everything we do in the space of diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI, that buzzword that everybody's hearing all the time. Yeah. And we wrap it all up in culture. Why culture? Culture is a leading component that drives you to a genuine sense of belonging. Yeah. Culture is, we all have it, and we belong to different cultures in the things that we participate in life. Your workplace has a culture. Your social networks have a culture. Your family has a culture. The tribe to which you ascribe, for me, it's African American, has a culture. And interestingly enough about that, depending upon where you are, the culture's not the same. All of these impact your leadership. The behaviors, beliefs, attitudes, and ways of being. How you show up make the difference. These are leading factors that contribute to you becoming your best you. Our focus today, as we're wrapping up our Leadership and Love series, is focused on a quick summary of where we've been and to pull them all together. So today we're talking about leadership, love, and legacy. Legacy is such an important element of your leadership. It is what you leave behind. It is what you're pouring into others that's helping them to learn. Leadership, love, and legacy. This has been one of the most powerful learnings that I've brought to Dr. Helen Speaks. It prompted me to study the presence and power of love in a different context to propel leaders to serve better. Now, some people might think ice cream makes life better or staying up late. What I know that is a proof, that is a method. Love makes everything better. Love makes everything better. And that's when it's really the kind of love that can't be shaken, disrupted, denied. For me, this whole series began with a book I read that piqued my curiosity from a perspective I hadn't really considered for quite some time. It demonstrated the ability for you to learn from sources that may not always seem relevant or valuable to your role as a leader. especially in secular settings. And so what was most intriguing to me about this book is that from where I sit and how I understand love really comes out of my faith. And when I think about it, how do you roll your faith into what you do in the world that may not be faith focused? There's a way in which to do it. The reference book for this series was developed out of my favorite book, the Holy Bible. And I took just a snippet from it that is found in 1 Corinthians, that's in the New Testament, the 13th chapter, verses 4-7. And I'm taking it from the New International Version. And it reads as follows. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Now, to read those words to you, they could come from just about anywhere. However, for me, where they come from has deep meaning. In full disclosure, some of you may know, many of you may not know. I am an ordained minister, so it really struck me as, wow, why did I not think of that? And my intent is not to project my faith beliefs or offend those who believe differently. It's shared in transparency of the reference used and how this leadership series came about. And I invite you to make time to reflect and consider what these declarations of love might mean to you and your leadership. It's really a model of practices that will serve to elevate your leadership and build your legacy, a lasting legacy. And this is what has led our time together these past few weeks. The learning has been rich and powerful. It's expanded my thinking about leadership, and hopefully yours too, and taken it to a whole new level. So please go back, check out the other episodes in this series on leadership and love, where we've shared 7 practices that you can bring into your leadership. Now, it's time for that question I always ask before we go deeper. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? Not just on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, not just on the weekends, every day. I ask this powerful question every week, number one, because it's a wonderful coach's question. When you come to our show, I want you to give yourself permission to allow your mind to let go and be present in this moment, to think deeper, be more intentional, and do something with whatever you take away. We want you to engage with yourself more than you normally do, with a focus on what you really want for your life. Repetition is a proven process for learning retention. That's like a tongue twister. Let me repeat that. Repetition is a proven process for learning retention. And I put that word learning in there. To retain something because you repeated it over and over again is not as useful or productive for your leadership if you haven't learned something about what you're taking in to retain. And investing with regularity in new learning helps you to incorporate, integrate, and expand into new habits and ways of being to grow your leadership. When you make the time to create new paths in your brain for success, and that's really what repetition is doing. If you've ever studied neuroscience or how the brain works, it's not as sophisticated as we may think. However, when you continue to focus in and practice and meditate on new ways of being or new learnings, your brain creates pathways for that to happen. And whatever old thinking you've given up that you don't go back to because now you've got some new, improved thinking to lean into, those old ways of being, like a garden unattended. Weeds grow up, pathways are overgrown, and the brain just abandons them for the new and improved way that you're showing up and bringing your greatness to the world. So when you do that, when you take repetition as new learning for retention, it increases your abundance and greatness. It also builds your reservoir of resilience. It will help you find and focus on what you do best. So as we connect these 7 practices together, and I hope you've grabbed some sort of device to help you remember, capture aha moments, think about after we're done with today's show. We're going to connect these 7 practices together. They really make up a seamless context of what it means to lead with love. Now, just like I shared, anyone could have written this and put it out there. It struck me because it touched 2 things very important to me: leadership and love, and what it means to lead with love. Not with love sitting on the shelf, but with it being right here in front of your face, reminding you of the incredible power that when you lead from love can bring. So let's do a quick recap of what we've learned about leadership and love. We began with patience. What's the saying? Patience is a virtue. It truly is. And in leadership, what leaders learn is that the further up you move in the chain of leadership, things don't happen as quickly. When you have hundreds of people, thousands of people that you lead, when you have 1 or 2 people to lead, it requires patience from time to time. Maybe it requires patience because you're moving too fast for the people that you want to speed up and you need to stop, engage. Oh, maybe I need to slow down some. Maybe I need to wait and let others catch up to where I am, because you know what you want others to do. And sometimes out of leading and wanting to get things accomplished, you don't think about everyone may not grasp it as quickly as you. So you want to be patient. Patience is always also about how you treat you. That sometimes you just have to be patient with yourself. New learning, oftentimes, you don't grasp it at the first pass. It takes time, patience. Now, to patience, we added kindness. Think about kindness, what it means when someone is kind to you. When you've called to file a complaint and what you encountered in your frustration to get resolution is that the person on the other end of the phone or the other side of the live chat, yes, that is a reality of how sometimes we have to connect to get things resolved. That little things like, please, thank you, how's your day today? Kindness go a long way to diffuse whatever may be bubbling up within you that has you not being patient. Kindness. To that, we tied trust. Now, trust is a biggie. Trust is an earned behavior, is an earned attribute. Who do you trust without having spent some time or experience with? Yeah. Period. Bar none. Trust. It's not instant. There again, touching on patience, bringing in kindness that can be a sweetener or a softener for trust. To patience, kindness, and trust, we added selflessness, or how not to be selfish, to put others before you. Truth be told, selflessness has a not selflessness has a lot to do with service. Leadership is about serving others, helping them to become more of who they are created to become or to be. Selflessness is about not thinking it robbery of what, because of what you give, of how you share. Truth be told, there's a lot to be shared that doesn't take away from you, and it's an unselfish act when you're sharing the goodness, good news, good opportunities. Yeah, there's plenty for everybody. We followed that by truthfulness, different from trust. Different from trust. Truthfulness speaks to you, speaks to your integrity. What's the saying? It's a whole lot easier to remember the truth than to keep up with a lie. Once you tell an untruth, keeping that all linked together takes effort. And it takes taking you someplace that you really don't think about until someone has been untruthful with you. This led us into forgiveness. Now, I have to tell you, forgiveness is a big one for me, because forgiveness is so much more than saying I'm sorry. Forgiveness is about when you really take the time to study whatever you're considering forgiving. And forgiveness does not mean restoration. It doesn't mean going back to the way things were without a shift or something different. Now, you can go back once you've forgiven someone or allow them back into your reality, but it's not necessary. It is loving, more loving, but sometimes you need to take time to be at a place to truly forgive beyond saying, I'm sorry. And lastly, we wrapped it up with dedication, that ongoing commitment to stay with it, to be with it because you believe in it and because love demands it. Love demands dedication. You don't love someone today and forget about them tomorrow. And it's a practice that you take on and you continue to build on. So these practices represent a seamless process that leads to your legacy. There are times that they show up for you one by one in isolation, and times when they show up with each other, depending upon your situation or circumstance. What do I mean by that? Have you ever found yourself being not nice or unkind because you're frustrated and you just want whatever's going on to stop going on? And you get to that place of you forget about being kind or patient. And then you catch yourself and you calm down and you realize that a little patience goes a long way. And as a result of this awareness, you find yourself bringing in forgiveness. Forgiveness is about love because we all want to be forgiven because none of us are perfect. And we've all done something that we needed to say, please forgive me. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. I was someplace else. It's really not that complicated. When you develop these practices and put them in play with regularity, they become habits. They become ways of being. They flow within the framework of whatever condition you may find yourself. And hopefully that's one of you leading with love. They serve to build and increase what it means to be a leader who leads with love for every person you encounter, for every situation you find yourself in. And the more you really explore and understand what this means for you, the easier it becomes to take it on and make it a part of who you are. These principles and practices are rooted in love and what it looks like. Our goal is to help you make the connection between what it means to lead with love. What we've been sharing are ways you can lead with a genuine and authentic attitude of love. It takes nothing away from you. Nothing. It only adds to you being a leader and leads closer to you becoming a leader with undeniable influence. And I love John Maxwell defines leadership with one word: influence. What does he mean by that? Well, if no one's following you, number one, you're not a leader. And if no one's following you, who are you there to influence? Something to think about. I'm just saying. However, I came across a quote by Dolly Parton, who said, if your actions create a legacy, what we're talking about, if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Let me repeat that. If your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. You see, none of us are born as great leaders or even good ones. However, we can become great leaders. It takes commitment, investment, and intention to learn, grow, and develop as a leader that other people want to follow. And when you take on the role of showing up as one who uses love to lead your leadership, oh, that's like the quantum leap. Love is the greatest force on this planet. We've only begun to scratch the surface of this powerful dynamic of leadership. It requires you to take on a new attitude, a new way of being, which reminds me a song by Patti LaBelle, who said, I got a new attitude. Yeah, from my head to my toes. It's really about the people around you, those you empower to lead others, that helps you to understand and embrace what it means to lead with love. My personal commitment to you is to help you bring your best self, your A game, for the world to experience. It's here where we get to connect and engage deeper with nuggets to help make that happen. As an executive leadership coach, you may believe I've got this all figured out. Newsflash, I don't. Just like you, I'm a continual work in progress. You see, we really do need each other to survive, to thrive, and to prosper, to reach our prosperity potential. I work with leaders to be the best they can be through coaching, training, and consulting. Why? Because I have coaches and a community of leaders that support and help me to grow and become better, to stretch, to think, be, and do more with intention and on purpose. Success is not a solo journey. However, it does require you to spend some time alone and with others deciding how you intend to pursue what you want. The best way I can support you is to stand with you and for you in pursuit of what you want for your life, to help you as a leader, to stretch, grow, and uncover the truth of who you are and what you want is the greatest value I can bring. My primary goal is to motivate, inspire, and help you change your reality, to gain clarity on moving ahead in pursuit of your dreams and desires. Your greatest you deserves nothing less. I'm ready for your breakthrough to your best. How ready are you? Join us each week, right here at Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership, where we continue to pour into you. And we'll be here every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, on the Win-Win Women Network, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Roku TV. And soon you'll be able to catch us on the Dr. Helen Holton YouTube channel. Until then, good people, my good brothers and sisters, I want you to keeping on, bringing it and coming to Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership.